Hello, it's me, Bruce. Yeah, let's get some lighting on the subject. Okay, there we go. Okay, we go back to 1987. I guess I say last normal Christmas. Christmas Eve. Well, I play Santa Claus every Christmas. I start around 6 o'clock, dress up with my Santa Claus suit, and I go around to all my friends that has kids. Start out, I guess, like I said already, about 6 o'clock. By the time I get done, I end up finishing up at my friends, Bob and Joanne's. That's around 1:30 in the morning, and that's where I celebrate. Back in those days is when I used to have a few drinks. Thank God I don't do that anymore. Don't drink. Uh, so, but following the new year coming up, I didn't know what was going to bring. Friday of January 15th, me and my friend Kathy, I went to have my cards read. And the lady went to, she was pretty forward. She wasn't really into it for the money. You would give her a donation, whatever you wanted to give her. Anyway, I went in and had my cards read, and she told me my grandfathers were going to die. And I told her I didn't have my grandfathers when I was born. She said, your father's going to die very soon. Well, I didn't take it to heart, but that Sunday I got a phone call. It was my mother. I was laying down taking a nap because I worked the midnight shift, so I was getting ready for the midnight shift. She told me she couldn't wake my father. So what did I do? I told her call the ambulance, call the police. I didn't take it to the light right away, but I got up and I talked to my roommate Ricky and told him about this. Yeah, okay, I'm back to you. And yeah, I remember I had my cards read and I told Ricky that. And I knew right then my father was gone. And Ricky said, nah, Ricky wasn't superstitious. And I said to him, Ricky, I had my cards read and I told him my father's dead. So anyway, I drove down their house, Route 80 I took, and it's about a 20-minute, 30-minute drive. And I just thought all the way down there about how I would find him if he was living. And I pictured him sitting in his chair, cussing my mother out for calling the cops, and for her doing that. And I just picture this with the policeman there, and it'd just be a little bit of a circus. Unfortunately, it wasn't that way. I got down there to their street. I saw an ambulance, paramedics squad car, a few police cars, and loaded with private firemen and rescue squad workers. And I entered their house. My mother, my sister was next door, and I went to go upstairs, and a friend of ours, Mr. Kunzelman, God love him, he's gone. He's up in heaven now. And he came to me, was the first person to approach me. He says, Bruce, you can't go upstairs yet. I said, well, how's my father? He said, well, he's very, very sick. They're working on him right now. So I right away called up Ricky and talked to him for a few minutes. And the paramedic came over to me while I was on the phone, and he wanted me to stay on the phone, but immediately I hung up. Anyway, he said to me, I'm sorry, but we just pronounced your father dead. And he asked me what he wanted me to do, if I wanted him to go over and tell my mother and sister, or if I wanted to. So I had the task. I thought I should do it. And right away, of course, we all were upset, and unexpectedly this happened. So I think that was the beginning of my downfall. I'm not going to get too much in detail, but we had a 2-day viewing and 3rd-day funeral, afternoon and evening, and thank God we don't do that anymore today. When my mother passed in 99, I believe it was just a 1-day shot of a viewing and next day funeral. So it's hard to go through. But we had enough to go through the what you call it, to peg out the coffin, bring his clothes. You know the routines that funerals are. It was very, very hard. So that was the toughest part of my life. Then, I don't know, me and my friend Kathy were friends for like about 8 or 9 years, and well, I was going to say love, yeah. I had feelings for her more than what she had for me. And we just got into an argument, and she said, well, you should move to Florida after all with your mother, because that was in the talk. So as soon as we got into the argument, I stopped speaking to her, and that move came into play. And yes, we moved down to Florida. It was cheaper for my mother to live down there. So that was financially the best thing to do. Okay, well, for now, I've done a lot of talking on this segment, so look for our next segment.